the faucet is leaking.
Daddy, every time I turn it off, it's still running. Fix it now.
Well, are you girls gonna help me?
No.
Oh no, I guess I'm on my own again. Okay, gang, so the hot water is the one kind of leaking, but also the cold handle seems to be stiff. I did look up changing these cartridges and they're $15 each, so I'd be $30 into this. And it's an old style. So I guess right now I'm more tempted to change this, and my wife picked out a nice faucet to change this out with. Okay guys, so now first thing is to get all the stuff out from underneath the sink, and thankfully this is fairly organized. I just have to take out these totes, and then we turn off the water, both hot and cold, so that we can change this out. And again, it's turn them clockwise to turn off the water, and that would be the first thing to do. Alright guys, so what I went with is this Moen model, and it's going to add a little bit nicer look to everything. It is a newer way of doing things. I open this up. Now what they have in here is the instructions, and then they ask for you to use the plumber's putty, but in the instructions themselves they never bring up plumber's putty. But again, the tools they say that you need are basically a Crescent wrench and some adjustable pliers there. Other than that, this is the type of tubing that I have. But here's where I was talking about, where they tell you that you need the plumber's putty in the front, but then they supply this gasket, and nowhere in the instructions does it say that you need plumber's putty. So I went through it all already to run into a problem where you really can't get at it with a wrench because the sink's going to be in the way, and you would need a special tool, a plumber's tool that has a jaw that opens up and it pivots. Also, another good new feature that I've noticed is that you don't have that little plunger deal anymore to open and close the sink. You have a kind of like a spring-loaded right now. You have this thing that goes in here and it's spring-loaded to open and close, rather than the old-fashioned, you know, pull. So we'll see how that goes. And I already took this gasket out and put it over the old one, and it fits just fine over the hole. So it should be just fine to fit in, and everything should be tightened by hand. The only thing you'll need a hacksaw for is if this portion is too long to go into your plumbing. That's why I recommend having a hacksaw, and also an old ice cream bucket if you have one. But that's the faucet here, and that's what comes with it. You have the instructions, these two pieces here for the drain. You have the faucet itself. You have these two. And notice this is brass, it's not plastic like some other models. There is a plastic insert in here, but they put brass teeth on there so you get a good bite. And then also your sealing gasket. Other than that, oh, there's also this little key to take off the strainer here. So that's really what comes in the box. Okay guys, as you can see, it's pretty tight in there. I do have a special plumber tool that will be able to help me tighten that, and I'll have to go grab it. But what I'm going to do next is I'll take off these lines and then have the water drop into a bucket right below them so that everything is drained, and then I can pull everything out and work on it. Alright guys, I have both of these closed off, draining into this little bucket. Now it's time to get the drain off, so we'll take this off, loosen it up here, also get that little plunger loosened up. There we go. That way it's not in the way. And undo the ball. I'm going to take the trap out so it'll make everything easier. Sometimes these get on there pretty tight after having to deal with water down here for a while. There we go, I think it's coming loose. A little bit further. Right. We have to stop that drain from moving and take this off. So I'll have to go from the top, get this out of here, and then try to hold that so I can loosen it up. Otherwise, I'll have to hacksaw it off from here and get it out if it's not going to come apart. It is brass, so I'm hoping it'll come apart easier. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I don't want to hold with anything on these teeth because then I won't be able to get this all the way out and I'll still have to hacksaw it off. But I do want to bring this nut down enough so that it's not in the way or intruding if I'm going to use a hacksaw. Alright guys, so one of the things that can be done and is easier to do here is, I don't know if you can see, but there's like little drain holes on the side, so I shoved the screwdriver in one of them and I can hold on to the screwdriver from up here to stop this piece from rotating, and then use my crescent wrench at the bottom while I'm holding it to loosen it up. And I'll show you what that looks like here. Get a little bit better focus on that. So as I'm holding it from the top, I just get the crescent wrench on it, and you can see now the nut is actually moving freely because I got it loosened up enough. And so you can take this out. Alright guys, next I just wanted to do a dry fit after cleaning all this, making sure I took off all the plumber's putty and dirt that was in this drain hole. I've got it very dry now as well. Now I took the piece out with the rubber piece and it fits really nicely in there. What you see here is some scratches from the brass rubbing into here and digging into the porcelain. Thankfully this will fit right in there, and once we tighten it, it'll be good as can be. Alright, so now it makes me want to continue with taking this out, the old faucet out. Alright guys, I was hoping I didn't have to use any special plumber's tools, but I ended up having to use this tool right here, and basically it gets in there, as you can see, and it can loosen up stuff in tight areas. I've got it on loosening right now. Because I couldn't get any wrench in there, and whoever did it before really had it on tight. All right, hope that helps. I'll put in the tool in the description. But as you can see, once you get it loose, the hose comes off just easy. I was hoping I didn't have to use a plumber tool, but it's always good to have one of these because you never know how tight the previous plumber put stuff in. So this way we'll loosen up stuff and then you turn it over to tighten stuff up later. That's basically how it works. It grabs on and tightens things. Alright, now that we've got the hoses off, it's just a matter of undoing these guys here, the nuts that hold on the faucet from underneath. Both of the nuts are loose for holding the faucet on, and now just pull it straight up. As you can see, because it's a 3-hole. Now there's a lot of cleaning up to do with that plumber's putty and get everything ready to put the new faucet on. Alright guys, cleaned up everything here. So the next step is to get this gasket, and you can see it says top front. So you put it in like this. Then you get the unit and you put it in. And just make sure that that goes on there, and it's not going to show the plastic, so I'll work it with my other hand. But then after that we'll go and put the plastic wing nuts on underneath after it's situated. Alright guys, if you're down here and you're having trouble tightening it, see I've got the Crescent. You could open it up enough so that you could just get it on those tabs and turn it. It gives you more leverage than trying to do it with those little plastic nubs that they have on there. I did both of these while my wife was holding the faucet from top so it doesn't slide around on me. But if you do it on your own, just take your time. You'll be able to do it. Okay, now it's just a matter of getting these hoses on. Get them started and just try to put them on like that. Get it as tight as you can with your fingers. And then just get that tool in there and then you could tighten it up. Just so you know that it's not going to leak. And that should do it really. Right there. And we'll do the same for the other side. Okay, now that both of the hoses are in, we're going to connect them to the cold here and the hot here before we put in the trap and all the drain for the sink. Alright guys, got the water lines put in as you can see. And now we're going to put in the drain and then hook up the trap. Alright guys, next we're going to take this apart, put this portion through the top and then tighten up the other portion through the bottom. Alright, as you can see I was able to get it hand tight here just by holding on to the tube down here and tightening. You don't need to be too tight on this. Alright guys, I got the trap on. See that space? Not going to happen, so we're going to have to cut at least an inch, I would say, off first to try and get it to line up in the back. That's really what we're looking for. Make sure it sits nice and tight in the back. Alright, we're going to hack off actually about a 1/2 inch. As you can see here, it's almost a 1/2 inch. And that'll put it in line. Try to get it as straight as you can. There we go. Now the trap will line right up. Alright, see, it'll be nice and snug. Alright, now so just get them hand tight, and once you get them hand tight, now you could take your channel locks and just give it a little tweak. Not much more than that. You don't need more than that on these. Alright, so there we have it. Everything is put in, as you can see, even the drain. But now we've got to pop in that drain. But before I do that, I'm just going to test everything. Another thing we need to do is take out the filter, which is right in here. So for this guy, we just put it in, push, push, push. All right, so let's try that out. You like that?
Yeah.
All right, let's turn this.
Daddy, I love the new sink you put in.
Okay, all right guys, while the water is running, both hot and cold, come down and check and make sure all the traps are good. There's no water dripping from the connections, water connections at all as well. And look underneath, make sure everything is looking good. There's no water squirting anywhere or any of that. Let it run. Again, we have the filter off just so in case there's any rust in the lines, it won't grab it. And then another test we could do is shut the drain so that it fills, and then we'll let it drain and see how quick it drains and if we have any problems. So even while the drain is on, check for a leakage, and I don't see anything anywhere. So I think we got it buttoned up pretty good. I don't see any water dripping down, so I wiped everything down. We'll just let it run for a few minutes here to make sure there's no issues. Sink is filling up. Now we'll just open that valve up. Now's a good time to see if there's any water puddling on top of the nuts for the trap. Anything on the bottom. Hey guys, I think we got everything buttoned up. Now I put the filter back on. You can see how it flows. This sink stop, the drain stop works really well. No water anywhere. Now I've got all the lines tightened up. So hope you like. This is the Moen Korek 84467SRN, and hope you enjoyed. Give us a thumbs up, and if you take this on, again, I would definitely recommend that plumber's tool that I had to use. This one, it saves you loads of trouble. So, alright guys, have a good one.